What's going on, guys? This video is going to be about the process of real estate and what happens from you wanting to buy a house till closing. So I know a lot of people, they get confused over as to what's happening during what and like the overall timeline, the whole real estate deal. So in the beginning, you want a house. So you start going on Zillow to see what's in the neighborhood where you want to purchase a property. First thing you should do is contact a realtor and express to her or him what kind of purchase you want to make. Is it an investment property? Is it a primary residence, vacation home? You want to express those intents to her or him, and also talk about your price range that you're looking for, the location, and things that you want, right? So let's say you want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or you want a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, like whatever, right? As you do that, he or she is going to start giving you more and more properties, and they're going to send you listings for you to go through and see which ones you like and which ones you want to go see in person. As soon as you contact a realtor, you should also contact a lender or a bank. Start talking to him or her what kind of price range you're looking to buy a property for. At the same time, make sure you tell your lender if you want a single family house, a condo, apartment, and etc. And you want to contact your lender early because usually the lender is the one that is going to create that backstop. They're the bottleneck because they want a lot of documents and they have to talk to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mac, and they have to abide by their guidelines to approve that loan, and then it is really up to them as to when you could close. You have some influence, but really it's on the lender on how fast they can process your paperwork. So it is best to contact them as soon as possible. So you can contact the lender, and the realtor at this time is already tracking what you want, and the lender is going to start processing your application. And they're going to want a lot of documents from you. They're going to want your W-2, last year or 2 years ago's tax return, your bank statements, and etc. As the lender is doing all that paperwork to see how much you qualify for, you need to get a pre-approval letter for a set amount of price so that you could add an offer for a property that you like. So the lender is doing all the application processing. He should have already given you a pre-approval letter, which you're going to use to put in an offer for a said property. So as you're looking for different properties, with the realtor, the lender is working behind the curtain in your application, and then you find a property that you like. So you put in an offer. That offer price for that said property has to match the pre-approval letter price. So in that offer that you put towards the seller, that offer is going to be accompanied by the pre-approval letter with that price. You don't want to have a pre-approval letter for more price. So let's say you are putting an offer for 100 grand. You don't want a pre-approval letter to say 200 grand because then you're telling the seller pretty much that you could afford to pay even more. So there's no incentive for the seller really to say yes to the 100K. Once you put in the offer, the seller could say yes to the offer, could agree to the offer, or the seller could say no to the offer. The seller, let's say, says no. Then you have to do a counter offer. Most likely the seller, when they say no, they're going to have a counter offer, and then you're going to look at the counter offer. You'll either agree or disagree, and then you could do a counter offer, right? So you're going to go back and forth until you agree on a set price, and then that is the agreed upon price for that said property. Then you need to contact your lender saying that, hey, I'm buying this property, we have approved contract, we have agreed upon price, and this is what I want. Already the lender should be way far ahead into the application, so it shouldn't take that much longer for the closing. So maybe he will say, okay, now that I have approved contract, it will take another week or 2 weeks, whatever. Then the next thing after the agreed upon price and the approved contract for that house is going to be a inspection. So with the inspection, that's usually done, I'll say, within a week after the agreed upon price for the offer. And in the inspection report is going to tell you if you want to maybe ask the seller to lower the price, or you should ask the seller to fix some of the issues that the inspection report states. After the inspection report and talk to the seller may fix it, or they may lower the price, or you as a buyer could decide to back out of the contract because of whatever the inspection report says, and the seller is not abiding by your requests if they're not going to lower the price or if they're not willing to fix the issues. And depending on the initial offer, you can even get your earnest money back. After the inspection report and all that jazz, you may have some other inspections such as termite, radon, stuff like that. That all depends on your location. So after inspection, then the lender, the bank, is going to do a appraisal. They're doing the appraisal because they want to make sure that they loan you the amount that the house appraises for. Let me give you an example. So let's say you are requesting a 100K loan. That is your principal amount to buy this property. And when the bank does appraisal, the appraisal comes in at 50K. they will not give you more than $50K for this property for a loan. The appraisal is really what the bank is going to loan out for. With that being said though, if you're trying to get a loan for $100K and the appraisal comes in at $120, that is good. That's what you want. Then, even if you want to loan for $100K, if you want, you could take out a loan for $120K because appraisal came in at $120 and $100K is the selling price. You give that to the seller, and then the extra $20K, you could keep it as a buyer as pure cash. So after the appraisal is done, in a way, it's kind of like off your control. Then it is all the lender and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all the administrative things that go on behind the scenes. You're kind of like hands off by then. Another point here though, if the appraisal comes in at super low and you don't have the extra cash to fork up to buy this property and close, then because of financial reasons, you could also back out of the contract and possibly get your earnest money back. Depending on your initial contract that you and your realtor had put forward, if the bank does not come in at the appraisal amount, then you could back out of the contract as well. All right, but let's say everything goes in fine, then eventually you will close. Let me just give you a summary again. So you want to buy property, you contact a realtor, he or she starts giving you different listings to buy a property, you look and you go see it in person. At the same time, when you contact a realtor, you contact a lender and you tell him or her, this is what I want, and they start processing all the paperwork. All the paperwork, they'll tell you, it's a long list. It's going to be W-2, tax returns, bank statements, and etc. Then you put in an offer for a property that you like. Then you'll maybe go back and forth. You do offer, counter offer. Eventually agree upon a price. Once that is accepted, then you will do an inspection report. After you get back the inspection report from the inspector, then you could probably lower the price of the house even more, or you have the seller fix some of the issues that the inspection report states. After that, there'll be an appraisal by the bank, and after the appraisal, it's more admin stuff that you as a buyer, you're not really that involved in it, and then it is closing. That is pretty much the entire real estate process in a nutshell. Yes, there's more to it, there's more nuances in it, but that is the overview. So that's all I got from you right now. Like, share, and subscribe, guys.